This is a demonstration of how important and what the hand positions are for Reiki 1 beginners. Each position is extremely valuable, extremely important. The thing to remember is that the closest to the hands that they are on the physical body, the more important that particular position is and why. And as we go along, I am going to demonstrate the reasons and why the different positions are so important. One of the first things to remember is that a person's aura field can get extremely heavy, almost like putting sugar or salt into a jar, putting it up on your shelf for months. If you bring it back down, you will notice that it is very compact and very solid. What's important is that you loosen and fluff it so that it's airy, so that whatever is in and close to the body, we can be able to pull it out and remove it much more easily. That also makes the next segment that we're going to talk about, which are the hand positions, so valuable. So the first thing that you do is you begin, and even if you can't in your mind imagine what it is or see, just the thought always makes it so. So what you want to do is make sure that it is very loose and light and airy. Also use your intuition. When you are finished, then just comb. As you comb, you may get things stuck, so even if you can't see them, pull it off. Go completely around the whole body, even on the other side. But make sure that you're combing until you feel extremely comfortable that it is clean. Now, starting the very first hand position, if you take your thumbs, you place them on the bridge of the nose, place the hands lightly over the face. This way, if someone is a little claustrophobic, if a person doesn't like things too close to their face, it's loose enough, it's open enough that it doesn't make them feel uncomfortable. So by resting your thumbs on the nose, it makes it easier. Also, this particular position helps to align the 6th chakra, the 5th chakra, and the 4th, which is the heart, the throat, and the 3rd eye. Do not rush this position. It's very important. Now, once you feel that you've been there long enough, go to the next position. Next position is over the head. Now, as you know, the brain is cut into 2 sections inside. One, they talk about right-brained and left-brained. Well, this particular position helps to balance both sides and bring them into harmony together. So this is also something that you should never rush. These first 4 positions I'm showing you also are important because they help to relax the person that's on the table. By the time you're done with the 4th position, usually we like them to be asleep. Now, next position is around the ears and the face. This is just, as far as I'm concerned, just a part of relaxation to allow the energy to flow. But it is also a setup for the next position, which is under the head. Now, an easy way to place your hands under a person so that you're not going to disturb them is, since your hands are this way, tilt the head slightly, take this hand, slide it under the head. Push back with your other and slide the other hand in. This way, your hands are together in the fourth position, and the person did not need to lift. They didn't need to move. And if they were very relaxed and asleep, they would still be there. Now, when you feel this position is concluded, slowly just slide your hands out. Now, the next position is extremely important. It is the throat. Now, most people are claustrophobic to some degree when you get too close to their throat area. So, if you, again, take your thumbs, place them on the chin, and make a cupping situation, you can see how it is wide open. You're getting the whole area, but you are not completely encompassing that throat so that they don't feel that they can't breathe. Now, the next position is the shoulders. Sometimes people's shoulders are extremely stressed. So by just holding the shoulder area and allowing the energy to just flow into the body is extremely valuable. Now moving to the next position, which is the heart. Now the heart position is very tricky. If you're working on a male, there's not a problem. You can just place your hands straight down on the heart. On a woman, it's a little different. The high heart, to me, is extremely valuable because the high heart, which is the thymus, is where the T cells are produced in the body. When you allow the energy to work in that particular area, you are helping those T cells to develop quicker, faster, so that they can then go out throughout the body at a much faster rate and heal even more. Now, some people like to hold their hands above, and some like to do the T position. Either position is fine, just so that you get the energy into that heart chakra. Now, the next position is the solar plex. Now, solar plex, you can go thusly, or you can do thusly, whichever is comfortable for you. The thing you need to remember is that if you are uncomfortable, you are not allowing the energy to flow freely from you because your mind is thinking about how uncomfortable you are. So whatever works is correct, as long as you get in the general vicinity of the particular chakra. So this would be the position for the solar plex. The sacral is right around the belly button waistband area, and it is exactly the same way. You either do thusly or thusly, and you keep your hands there until you feel that it is time to move. Now the root is a little trickier. And we cannot, under any circumstances, touch the root area. But if you take your hands in a cup position and you hold them slightly above, it actually beams it more rapidly, more directly into that particular vicinity. And the root is an extremely important chakra. You will also find that a lot of people have problems in the first three. Remember, we are spiritual beings that are having a physical experience. So we like to be in the spiritual. These down in this area, these chakras actually relate more to the physical body. Now, once you are concluded with the root, you've now done the 7 major chakras. Now we do the arms and the legs. One hand on the shoulder, one hand under the wrist. Now, the thing you want to get in this position is a circuit, almost like plugging in a wire that goes to a VCR or to whatever, to where it makes a complete circuit. So you become part of the circuit. You want to allow the energy to completely flow from one hand all the way up to the other hand. If you do not get a circuit, then you need to find out what position it's in. So let's say, for an example, I'm not getting a circuit between the shoulder and the wrist. Whichever hand is easier to move, move that one. So in this case, it's easier to move my left. So I'm going to place it over the elbow area, and I'm going to see if the problem is between the wrist and the elbow. Now, if that isn't, then that means you need to work this area, which would be the elbow to the shoulder. Now, once you get the circuit, and this is also running, always go back to the original position and make sure that the circuit completely works. When it is, you then move around to the other side and you do exactly the same thing to the other arm. I find that some students like to work all the way down one side, all the way up the other. When it is done to me, I feel lopsided until it gets balanced. This way, if you do an arm, do another arm. Then do your legs, do your other leg. You stay more in balance. Even though you might be asleep, some do not sleep. Some stay awake. Now, we finished the arms, so now let's go to the knees. I find that it's important to put one hand on each knee before you go to the legs. This allows you to see if the right or left side is in balance with each other. You may find that one leg has energy running more than the other leg. So this will give you a better idea of what it is. Now, once you decide they're either one is better or they're even, then we start the actual leg position. And the leg position is very similar to the arm. You put one hand on the hip and one hand on the ankle. Again, I am trying to find a circuit. If there is not a circuit, you then again work to get the energy to see if this is where the problem is. If it's flowing freely, then go here. When it is flowing freely, you then again come back to the original position to be sure that the circuit is completely full and free and flowing. Once you have the leg done, you then move over to the other leg and repeat the process again. And now the feet. The important thing to remember is when people are doing the feet can be so uncomfortable where your body is all twisted and tweaked. And again, I said earlier how uncomfortable it is when you're hurting or you're in an odd position. You're not thinking about allowing this energy to flow through you. So the important thing is comfort for you also. So if you stand facing away from the table, take your left hand and place it on the heel. Then take the right hand and place it over the foot. This way you're completely covering every single bit of the foot. You're getting everything. In acupuncture and acupressure, they will tell you that every organ in the body is related to the bottoms of the feet. So getting every single part of the foot is extremely important. Now at this point, when you feel you have enough, you can even take your hands and do the top. There's also very